How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down the line? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man with the most annoying voice in Cowboys Nation, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And this entire Jerry and Stephen Jones versus Micah Parsons and David Mulugeti soap opera, I feel there's a deeper element to the frustration building up within Cowboys Nation. Another great divide within the fan base and talking heads alike. But watching a segment on First Take, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, Kimberly Martin, and David Dennis Jr. discussed the situation, and they hit on a few points that opened up the conversation to a deeper level with this whole contract situation involving Micah Parsons. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do after that. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what the crew of First Take had to say.
Jerry Jones is handling this more like a relationship or a breakup or a friendship. And it's an impossibility for Jerry Jones and any player to have a friendship because the imbalance of power doesn't allow that. And so we can't come to a decision in the room. It's not like me going to D or Dan or Kimberly and saying, hey, y'all, let's start this gym. Mm-hmm. Right, and we walk out of the room, and now that's the way it works. Right. What happens is now you say, okay, speak to my representation. And so even if he reached, right, and he gave Micah a number he was comfortable with, what Micah Parsons said is, okay, Jerry, I'm comfortable with that. Now speak to my agent, David Mulugeti. And when you listen to his representation, there was never an offer sheet sent. It was never a time where Jerry Jones said, here is what me and Micah talked about with all of the finer points that it takes to get a deal done. And I talked about this on Get Up. For as smart as we want to be as players, for as much as we understand business, we can't go talk to one of the owners and do a deal, right? The reason that the owners deal with the owners and they have their friends who are on their level is because they revenue share. There isn't a revenue share between one player and
lateral
the owner.
that way.
It's lateral that way. And so now Jerry Jones takes that personal and he goes public with it. And Micah Parsons, who is normally talking, has only said, I want to be a Cowboy, has only said, I'll take less money, has only said, I'm ready to sign so we can build around him. And instead of Jerry Jones being the adult in the room, he's taking shots at the young man over and over again, and even now continues to do that.
I mean, what can I say, Cowboys Nation? He was really speaking some facts there, wasn't he? But I mean, Jerry Jones has always had those Dallas Cowboys players that were close to him than others. Players that he considered like sons. Players like Jason Witten, Tony Romo, Zeke Elliott, and before this whole contractual disagreement started, Micah Parsons. But Ryan Clark spoke about what he felt went on behind closed doors with the meeting between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Only them 2 guys and God know what happened in that room, but the results left Jerry Jones with the thought that a deal was imminent. Now, you have to speak to my agent to finalize that, Jerry. This is a case where Micah Parsons spoke to his agent saying he and Jerry came to an agreement, but Mulugeti insisted he negotiate for him. We can only speculate, Cowboys Nation, but jumping into the second clip, David Dennis Jones speaks about who Jerry Jones really is. So let's take a listen to that so we can come back and talk about it. Let's roll that clip.
Finding who Jerry Jones is and based on what his actions are. He has a reputation of somebody who we call a good businessman. He's somebody who we call a winner. But Jerry Jones has not been a good businessman or a winner in the 21st century. And what he's doing is redefining what it means to have that star in your helmet. Having that star in your helmet now means that you work for a guy who is going to take things personal more than he is going to talk about business. He is treating his players and the best player on his roster, the best asset, like he is a liability. He is insulting him. He's not treating him like a human being. And that is not what a business person does with their assets. He is single-handedly taking an organization and taking a locker room and putting them in a revolt against him. And he is putting his personal in front of the actual business. These are not things that winners do. These are not things that good businessmen do. This is Jerry Jones as the single-handed force that is a detriment to this Cowboys franchise. Micah Parsons said he wanted to be there because he wanted to be a Cowboy. He wanted to be, have the star on his helmet. Other players are looking at this, and they're looking at what it means to play for Jerry Jones, and it does not look pretty and does not look like some people want to do.
Damn, David Dennis Jr. But he said that Jerry Jones has not been a good businessman in the 21st century. I mean, is he wrong, Cowboys Nation? I'm not talking about drafting players because we all know that that's Will McClay and his staff scouting these players from college. So that can't solely be Jerry Jones's doing. You know what could be Jerry Jones's doing, though? Signing your talent. And Jerry has been known for making record-breaking contracts by waiting until the last minute to sign his talent. I understand players are on their current contracts until they run out, but the majority consensus is that you sign your player early to be able to save salary cap dollars. It seems as if the Dallas Cowboys is the only team that consistently drops the ball on signing their best talent early. In the NFL, is that good business, Cowboys Nation? I don't know. You know me. I'm just asking for a friend. But jumping into the final clip, David Dennis Jr. speaks about what I feel is one of the main issues with the way that they conduct business at the Star. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
There's a lasting damage here. Like, there is a power dynamic here, and you guys can speak to this. The thing that you cannot deal with as players is when your owner waves that power advantage and treats you like you are property and treats you like you're something less than a human being. That is what Jerry Jones is doing to his best player, and that is something that galvanizes not only that locker room, but the rest of the players in the league. And you look at this Cowboys franchise and say, do I want to deal with this stuff? Do I want to give this guy my blood, sweat, and tears, and he's going to go around and throw me under the bus, and he's going to insult my agent, he's going to insult me? Those things that he is doing, he is striking a nerve, not just with his own players, but with players all around, because you already have this reputation of Jerry Jones as, I want to be the star, I want to be the guy, but now you're treating your players as something less than actual three-dimensional, full-fledged human beings in your organization, and that's not something.
But there's a reality to that in the NFL.
Yeah, that's real life.
Like there is. Like I've often said, players are stocks for owners. You either help them and they'll keep you, or you help them.
That's a liability.
So I think there is a reality.
There is a reality. Players are stocks, Cowboys Nation. And at the end of the day, players are employees of Jerry Jones. But does that mean that they have to put up with everything being thrown out in the media? I guess that comes with being a Dallas Cowboy, right? But let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Cowboys Nation, I said this in a previous video. This is deeper than football. It's deeper than, well, he's still under contract. He's under his rookie contract. He need to be out there playing. I remember last year, a majority of Cowboys Nation was saying they better pay CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott before the start of this regular season. Yeah, they got both of those contracts done, but the amount of media coverage it took, that was sickening, Cowboys Nation. The amount of debates it sparked was crazy. The allegations coming out in the media and media heads propping them up, giving them a podium. Countless stories on how Micah Parsons was a nuisance at the Star, how his podcast was a distraction to his football life. These pointless narratives that get tossed to the wolves to make the players look ungrateful and all they want to do is just be Dallas Cowboys for life. How did Cowboys Nation find out about Jerry and Micah Parsons' closed-door meeting, Cowboys Nation? Talking too much to the media, right? Negotiating through the media. Updates through the media. Updating the media where contract negotiations are. Fans and media heads living in the pockets of these players. I've said it once and I'll say it again, Cowboys Nation. I wish that the Dallas Cowboys would conduct business a little bit more closer to the chest. Media doesn't have to know where contract negotiations are with a player. All it takes is a no comment remark by Jerry, Steven, Micah, and his agent, and no one would have any information on this topic. Jerry can't do that, though, Cowboys Nation. Steven can a little bit better, but he does slip from time to time. But Jerry uses the media as an arm in negotiations. Yes, other teams do it too, but more often than not, Jerry and Steven are talking out in the media about our players' financial situations. This, in turn, causes the players to go out there and throw shade. They throw their own innuendos out in the media, causing the media circus at the Star and more negative press surrounding this team. Press nonetheless. Bars. I also hear the other side of the argument, Cowboys Nation. Micah is under contract for one more year, then the team can exercise their right to offer Micah Parsons the franchise tag. If Jerry and Stephen Jones offer the franchise tag, Micah has no choice but to sign it. He could elect to sit out, but he would be fine doing so, Cowboys Nation. They could come to an agreement before he missed any time during the regular season, though. But some Cowboys fans commented and said that I was acting like Micah Parsons was broke and couldn't afford to hold out. Jeez, I'm crow. No, that's not the case, Cowboys Nation. That's honestly a surface level way of looking at things. This man is scheduled to make $24 million on his 5th-year option this year. If they franchise tag him twice, the first year he would be making $26.5 million. The second year he'd be making $31.8 million. So the brother got money. The brother is paid. It's not about the money though, Cowboys Nation. It's about the respect. It's about seeing the top players of your draft class getting their extensions done while you're going to go play on your 5th-year option with no future security. They complain about the cap all the time, but when they have a legitimate way to ease up the cap, they wait. It's about what the norm has been for the majority of contending teams, Cowboys Nation. Pay your top players as soon as you can, spreading out that cap hit in order to create more salary cap so that your team can acquire better talent. Do teams come to contractual disagreements and it get leaked to the media? Yes, they do. But why is it every year that Cowboys fans have to hear about pie or not having enough pie? I get zeroing out your cap dollars so maybe you can pay the players that are retired or have moved on to other teams. I get that. But if you sign Micah Parsons now, don't you save on the salary cap? But Cowboys Nation, I want to go over to the split screen so I can read y'all a clip from a Yahoo Sports article. Let's go ahead and go over to the split screen because I feel it's pretty interesting. All right, Cowboys Nation, we over here on the split screen, and I want to read y'all an article from Yahoo Sports. It's Micah Parsons could be part of Cowboys' potential $32 million mistake. I'm not going to read the whole article. We're just going to get to the crux of it, all right? But it says, according to CBS Sports' John Birch, this drama could have been avoided if the Cowboys had followed advice from former 5-time All-Pro J.J. Watt. Take care of your best players early, Watt posted. Save money, save headaches. The longer you wait, the higher the price. Birch explained that this isn't just a Parsons problem. It's a Cowboys problem. The franchise has a long history of dragging out negotiations with its stars, which end up costing them millions. If Dallas had followed Watt's advice with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, they could have saved roughly $32 billion per Birch's breakdown. CeeDee Lamb signed a 4-year, $136 million extension in August of 2024, $34 million per year. If Dallas had extended him between January and March of 2024, they could have locked him in at around $31 million annually before the A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson deal drove the market up, saving $12 million. Micah Parsons, expected to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, likely over $42 million annually. If Dallas had extended him any time from January 2024 to March 2025, he could have signed for around $36 to $37 million annually, slightly above Nick Bosa and Justin Jefferson's mark at the time, saving $20 million. Instead, the Cowboys now face the prospect of paying record-setting money or losing one of the league's most dominant defensive players, and that's not counting the PR hit of Parsons' public trading request. For a team as desperate to return to Super Bowl contention as Dallas, that's a self-inflicted wound that even Jerry Jones might not be able to spin. $32 million, Cowboys Nation. $32 million. What could the Dallas Cowboys have done with an extra $32 million? Sign Derrick Henry? Sign Saquon Barkley? Add those salary cap dollars to the Micah Parsons contract and actually get it done sooner? Those same fans who worry about what Dak Prescott got paid, they also worry about the salary cap. Why not the same energy in this situation? But I get Jerry Jones's point during his interview at training camp. He was under the impression that he and Micah had this unwritten agreement, but Micah wanted to involve his agent like he should have from the beginning. That has stopped all negotiations according to what we're seeing in the media, hence why they shouldn't play this out in the media. They leave it all to be pieced together by third and fourth party information. It has people coming to different conclusions like, Jerry don't want to pay his top players, or I wonder if David Mulugeta wants a little bit more of the pie. What I mean, Cowboys Nation, is that this has gotten way too messy for no reason. What would we do if we kept all negotiations behind closed doors? That they didn't involve the media. They didn't get in front of cameras throwing shade at each other. They just got in a room and they negotiated. Jerry, Steven, Micah, and David. That would slow down media coverage, wouldn't it, Cowboys Nation? That would lessen the media exposure the Dallas Cowboys would have during the offseason, wouldn't it, Cowboys Nation? That would stop the Dallas Cowboys offseason soap operas. But does Jerry Jones really want that? So ask yourself this. Who stood to win if Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones struck a deal? They came to an agreement during that meeting. When Jerry and Micah met, Jerry went off and drafted up a contract and Micah signed it. Who would have won in that situation? Jerry, Micah, Micah's family, and the Dallas Cowboys organization. Who stood to lose? David Mulugeta. We've all had that friend that lets us know that we're worth more than what we tell ourselves. That they'll go to bat for us and get us the most out of a situation. That's David Mulugeta. And I feel that Micah left the meeting with Jerry Jones, called up David Mulugeta and told him about the numbers, and Mulugeta said, whoa, bro, whoa. Why wasn't I a part of this meeting? Jerry Jones knows that he shouldn't be speaking to you unless I'm present. I can get you more than that, Micah. I can get you more guaranteed money, Micah. Just let me handle it from here on out. Follow my lead and you'll be the highest paid non-quarterback in bread, APY, and guaranteed money. You know, Cowboys Nation, that's just my tinfoil hat. That's just me speculating. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to be the team that no free agent worth mentioning wants to come to. I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to be that team that can only land desperate players, that can only land desperate free agents. I want to go back to those days where the Dallas Cowboys was a premium destination for a player to go. But how do you feel about the situation? Do you think that Micah Parsons will sign his contract before the start of the regular season? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel chip away at 20K, drop a like on this video and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and you understand the importance of positive contract negotiations, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdowns, or Madden 25 or College Football 26 gameplay. One thing that I hate is how Cowboys fans can be easily divided. When I started the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel, it seemed as if Cowboys Nation was strong. We were united, and now any topic divides us. This isn't an echo chamber, Cowboys Nation, which means we will disagree. That doesn't mean that I have to hate you or you have to hate me or that I don't value your opinion or you don't value mine. We can agree to disagree while screaming DC for life. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.